able to be heard? Good. E. I've been trying to figure out the stream and failing miserably. I hear, I see one I can hear, so I will go off that, I guess. Alrighty, cool. Okay, I've got confirmation. Awesome. Hello everybody. This is our first DigiStage. It's pretty exciting. My name is Heaven, the person who's talking right now. And so, who I am is the founder of the Gushiken Project. And so basically what we're going to be doing here tonight is just talking about the song in general, what the production looked like, and pretty much the project in general, stuff like that. So let me go ahead and do that fancy little thing there. All right, so we have a few different staff members with us today. I think there's only 4 of us right now, which is fine. Two of our voice actors and our arranger here as well. So we got I don't know how many of you want to just go ahead and introduce yourselves. You can do however you'd like. As I said before, my name is Heaven. I'm the founder of the project and also the voice actor for Nagisa. So that's what I have done within Nautical Alliance. The rest of you, if any of you would like to do a quick little introduction.
I nominate Ferris to go first.
Okay.
Because alphabetically you're second. Actually, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, well, you should go first anyway.
I will go first anyway. So hello, I'm Ferris. I made music stuff. Yay! Next.
Okay, well, if that's all you're gonna say, but my name is Steph. I am very congested, but I am the voice of the Student Council President, Harley. Yay!
Yay!
I guess I'm last. Hi, my name is Diane, and I am the voice actor of Hitomu.
Okay. And that's all the staff members we have with us today, but if anybody does hop on after this, we'll go ahead and chat with them. But basically, to start us off, looking at the Nautical Alliance music video and everything we did, so that was a whole lot of work, basically. It took us... I think production was how long? A few months? It was like... I know me personally, I started writing the song in like February of this year or something, and so I guess that's a while, probably 9 months, I think. It took to write all of that, or produce all of that pretty much. I guess, let's see. So... This is like the first original also for my project. Basically, there's a whole lot of stuff that we'll get into later, but this is like the very kind of like first debut, and then there's going to be a lot more. But I feel like we did pretty good on this one. I'm really proud of it. I think it turned out really well. Let's see. So, where the song began out of anything, like I said, I started writing it in February, and so that was mainly just the melody and the lyrics. And I think, honestly, from my first draft, a whole lot didn't change, and I think where it changed the most was when I started kind of working with Ferris on it, and we changed a couple things, but not a whole lot, I believe. we cut a few things and bumped up the BPM pretty much. And I mean, like, that's pretty much all that changed, I think, from the main melody we were looking at. And, you know, from there we just kind of started putting things together. I'm a baby at, like, the production stuff. I literally had no clue what I was doing, but definitely had staff to thank for guiding me along, because there's definitely people on staff that had a lot more experience with this than I did. And probably wouldn't have turned out the same if I didn't have the people I had help me with this. I don't know, with the just basic intro of the song, if anybody else has something to interject, that's fine, but that's pretty much the introduction of Nautical Alliance, to say the least. Basic description of it. Well, I love noticing. I have a little script I'm going off of, and I just immediately notice little typos. That's cool. Whatever. So I guess the next thing that's on my little list here is how production went, I guess. I don't know, do you guys feel like, I felt like it went pretty quickly, to be completely honest, the production rate. Well, I guess, like, in the middle we had a little bit of a lift, but it went pretty okay, I feel like.
Yeah, I think for these types of things, anything under a year is very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, for like only 9 months, I'm pretty happy with that. That went quicker than I was expecting, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I had such a very I had such a very like short part of the production process, but like, you know, like seeing everything come together, like it felt like it took forever, and also it came together very quickly at the same time.
Yeah, I think like once things started going, they really started going. It was pretty cool to watch it come together.
Yeah. And honestly, when I first started writing the song, I think it was around... it was shortly after I'd actually, started thinking about the song. It was shortly after Nautiance had their first 1 year anniversary, which is kind of weird to think about since it's been 2 years now. But, and honestly, from there, I was thinking I was going to wait a lot longer for this to come out as well. So, I mean, yeah, we definitely got this out a lot quicker than expected. I think we have another team member jumping in with us real quick here. Whoop.
They'll be here soon.
Yeah, eventually. But yeah, and I think for as fast as it did, it turned out well. Everybody worked really quicker than I was expecting. The music video, when the person who I commissioned said, "Oh yeah, it'll only take a few weeks," I was kind of expecting it to be a little longer, and then a couple weeks later, there it is. I was like, okay, interesting. Not disappointed though.
Hooray for finishing things on time.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of that.
Me too. We really love being on time. Oh, is Lotie in here?
Hello.
Hello. Would like to introduce yourself to all of our watchers here.
Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Lottie. I am the voice for Chinatsu. Thank you for supporting us.
Okay, we have 5 people on board now. Yay! Where did I start off at? Oh yeah, we were talking about how quickly the production looked like. I mean, other than speed, I feel like with the production, it was pretty clean. I felt like there wasn't a whole lot of, like, super interesting things going on, just, like, the basic kind of things getting done in a timely manner in a very clean fashion. So honestly, it's pretty normal behind the scenes. Not any kind of, like, horror stories or anything to talk about.
I had a really interesting time recording, actually, because it was the day before I had to, like, leave on a plane for 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
And the deadline would be passed, like, if I waited any longer than that, because I'd be out of state. So, yeah, so, like, I did it all, like, in one day, which was, like, very unusual for me with recording anything. It was like, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go fast. And, like, it was a good experience, though, because, like, I had to not be too much of a perfectionist, but, like, I was happy with what I did anyway, and I was like, oh, I can do things in one day if I, like, put my mind to it, so.
Nice. Yeah.
Speaking of recording, I actually did my recording for the CMs in my hotel room. So I had some very, like, I got a few odd looks from the people in the same hallway as me later.
Oh, no.
I'm sure they forgot quickly, but it was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I thought about that after I had decided. I was like, oh no, they're not in the country right now. But
hey, it worked.
Yeah, it did. It sounded absolutely great.
Yay.
I mean, I guess I put these bullets here, bullet points here, and kind of already did that, which is kind of, yeah. I do have some of the Q&A questions down here. I know there's, like, for team members that are looking at the script, I put about the staff and about the cast, but I was like, we already introduced ourselves. I don't know why I put that there. So we can take our time talking about some of these Q&A questions, and I'm sure that'll kind of pull off some interesting conversations. Let's see, which one should we start with? I don't know, this third one says, tell us more about the process of writing and learning your first song. I don't know if there was any kind of, like, learning curves or anything for some of us. I know for me it was just because I was totally inexperienced with it, so I was really hesitant about doing anything, so I didn't know if I was doing it the quote-unquote correct way, but I don't know, hopefully I managed everything well, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so. I'm actually pretty curious about, like, kind of, like, where the lyrics came from in your heart, in your mind, like, what inspired those. I guess, obviously, the story of Nautiance, but, like, I'm sure they come from a personal place, too, a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way I kind of wrote them was I had the melody first, and then I kind of shoved some lyrics onto there, but before the arrangement even was started, and I don't know, I feel like Nautiance is so old. I've had them for, like, 4 years. The design, they're these are not new characters, and so there is a lot of heart and soul in them. Kind of, it's basic life stuff, pretty much, of just, like, I guess Nagisa's solo in the very beginning was kind of, I don't know, related to me, I guess, somewhat, just kind of, you have those, like, plateaus you hit when you're trying to, get to a different level, like a different place and stuff like that, like what are those called? The plateau is part of what I'm trying to say, but,
obstacles or hurdles or?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I was kind of, this whole song was just finding your people and just kind of, being okay with what you're doing and being confident in what you're doing. That's kind of what the thought was behind that, pretty much.
Yeah, I felt that. That's really nice. Yeah, I know Nagisa especially came through a lot of, like, bullying and stuff in her backstory. So
Yeah.
I'm rooting for her,
Yeah, that was pretty much it about the lyrics. We have any any other ideas behind the writing and learning process of the song from anybody? Anyone?
Yeah, should I talk about like what happened after I got the melody from you?
Yeah, sure.
Do it.
Okay. So I wrote some quick notes right before this, just so I don't forget anything, and also because I am a disaster when speaking. So when I got the demo from you, Heaven, I was really surprised because it was very, very good. And usually, usually I wouldn't take commissions for just the arrangement because I am not like super confident in my own arranging abilities, or like I prefer to compose. But after I heard the melody, I thought it would be like a really good experience to work with it, and also because I really liked it myself. And some things of like why I like this so much is, one, we have a long chorus, and I am a big fan of very long choruses. And then also just the structure as a whole, because like with the verse you sort of have like a verse, and then you have like this other section that's different, but it's still sort of the verse, and then you have the pre-chorus. There's like three sections in there, and I thought that was really cool. And then also this, how do I word this? There's a lot of places where the counting doesn't like completely line up. You guys know sort of what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't always line up to like groups of 4. And that was really, really cool. And it was sort of like a mini puzzle to me to try to like figure out how to get all of these things to fit together nicely. But I feel like all of those sections came out really, really well. Like in the first verse, there's this place where I just had like one bar of like instrumental just in the middle there, just to connect the two sections. I forgot exactly where it was. Like all of those things I had lots of fun doing. And yeah. Oh, and then also it was probably the easiest arrangement I've ever done.
Oh, really?
I have no idea why, but everything came together really, really easily for this song.
Huh.
I guess like part of it is because of the style. It's the style that I'm fairly comfortable with.
Right.
Like the idol thing with like this BPM and everything. And also I guess I just got lucky. Because sometimes I struggle a lot with arrangements, and I'm like almost at the point of giving up, and I'm like, I guess I'll continue working on this. But then those end up fine eventually, except for that one time. But I don't talk about that.
Ferris is way too hard on himself because I think all of his arrangements are amazing. Like, just personally speaking.
Yeah.
But I remember
There's one that
hearing...
did not come. There's one that just did not come together.
I think we all have one of those, probably
Yeah.
somewhere. But, you know,
Yeah.
it's still part of the learning process. And I remember you talking about the arrangement and thinking it was really interesting to listen to you talk about the arrangement. I was like, oh, I gotta try out for this project because Ferris is working real hard on it.
Yeah.
And conveniently, me and Steph, didn't we audition for the same 2 characters?
Oh my gosh!
I think so. Yeah.
Without knowing, like, we auditioned for the same characters, were accepted at the same time, And we were actually living across the street from each other at the time.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. She was like, "Oh, I'm moving to your area," and I was like, "Okay, she could be anywhere 2 hours away." I was like, "What's the address?" And she's like, "Across the street from me." Like, what the heck? Are you talking? Yeah, no, it was really cool. We just had this total twinsies moment of we both tried out for the same project. We both got in at the same time. It's kind of
I love that
story. Yeah.
Okay.
You're being too quiet, Diane. You gotta tell us about how you got into it.
How I got into the project?
Yeah.
I don't remember that quite as much. I think I just decided, I saw it on Twitter or something like that, and I just submitted an audition spur of the moment at 3 in the morning.
The best ones.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I think I remember being in there and just very intimidated, oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here, but okay.
You are definitely supposed to be here.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
IMO. Yeah. Absolutely. So thank you for bringing us your best 2 in the morning energy.
Yeah.
All of that work happens at 2 in the morning, I must admit.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is about all of the cast I have, I heard them and I was like, that's the one. It just kind of clicked immediately. I remember that, I think Diane's was the first, I was like, oh my god, that's it. And when I was going through them, and then, all of a sudden I was going through and I'm finding them exactly, and yeah, that's perfect. It's kind of funny hearing everybody just being knowing.
Yeah. Some things are just meant to be.
They are. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was nice. I'm glad that my melody was very easy to work with. I'm glad, that's reassuring for sure to hear that it was good. Okay, let's see. A few of the other ones. I think if you guys have a specific one you want to answer to, that's totally fine, because I know that you have it as well. A couple of these are, what was the process for making the song and stuff. Oh, here's one. What's your favorite verse in the song? Let me look. I'm not entirely sure.
The one where Lottie and I sing together. Ha ha ha.
I really like the bridge. I know that's not technically a verse, but it's very sweet. That's it.
Let's see. I don't know why my brain just immediately gravitates to what is it? Our forward passion shining splendor through the night. I don't know why I was that's the best line ever. My brain.
Yeah, it's really a unique feeling, but really, yeah.
I thought this meant first verse, second verse. Did it mean this our favorite line?
I mean, there's 2 different questions that I'm kind of, so it can be either, whichever.
I think I like the hopes and dreams just in reach line, but not mine. Mitsu's.
I'm a big fan of the very specific moment. I think it's between Nagisa's solo and Hitoma's solo, and the arrangement just goes.
Yeah.
I love that part too.
It's beautiful, especially with the rewinding image in the video.
Yeah, I noticed
That's
that.
what I was talking about earlier, where I just to put a random bar.
It works though.
It does.
Okay, did everybody get a chance to answer that one? I wasn't watching.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. What's another one? I'll just go ahead and answer the first one on here. Is Nautiance going to continue putting out music / covers even with other groups debuting? So the plan is, I'll talk about this a little more in depth, but Nautiance has subunits that we're going to start doing covers for. Probably just one for each subunit for now, just kind of while we're working on stuff in between, is the plan. So I'm not entirely sure when that's going to start. We're kind of in the midst of planning for that, but that's going to be something that we're going to do. Just covers, though. We're not going to do original songs for subunits just yet.
They get to be in, like, the rock, edgy, goth.
Yeah.
I am so excited for that.
Okay, this other one. What made you come up with Nautiance in their song? I think what I said before about just kind of pulling the lyrics and stuff kind of from my own kind of personal experience and stuff, and the backstory of Nautiance as well. It's kind of like a little bit of a deep one, I guess. It's really rooted in passion is what it is. Both in, mine and what the girls' passion is for their own wishes for their future, pretty much. And so I just kind of all channeled into Nautiance and the song. Yeah, also, I feel like something I should mention, Nautical Alliance is like technically Nautiance's long name. Nautiance is just Nautical Alliance kind of shoved together. So that's where that name came from, if anybody was unaware.
I like that it rhymes with audience, so that if you're sitting and watching a Nautiance concert, you're the Nautiance audience.
I love that.
What, I went out of order now. I don't remember which one was ones we already answered.
Mood.
A lot of these are similar in answer here. I think the only one said, were there things that you felt you could do better? What were you happy with? I don't know. I have to think about that one. That's one. I mean, I'm overall happy with the, how it turned out, It's definitely, I don't feel like there's a whole lot that I'm totally like, I would like change in a heartbeat or anything like that,
Yeah, like it's the same for me. I feel like the arrangement, like, it just all came together very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess I'm lucky. But I do want to give a shout out to my MVP, which is in the chorus. There's this synth that just goes like.
That's my favorite synth.
Yes. Like, I'm pretty sure when the first time you heard it, Steph, you were like, that synth is great. I'm like, yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
That's
Okay,
all.
but I totally thought you said it was your favorite simp, and I was really confused for a second.
My favorite Sims are the plant people, incidentally. But yeah, I think in terms of something that I would like to improve on in the future is, I have not done, like, a whole lot of voice acting. I've done a lot of stage acting. But I would like to, I'd like to get a little more, like, consistent and comfortable, I think, with doing the voice acting part of it. That was another one of those things where it's like, oh shoot, like the deadline's coming up and I'm not gonna have time later this week and I'm just gonna have to record it and get it out in there and, like, like, just be happy with whatever comes out of my mouth, and not record it like 20 or 30 times and pick my favorite take. So yeah, that's something that I want to be more, like, confident about in the future, I think.
Yeah, I feel the same, but on the vocals side. Like, I so I can't listen to Nautical Alliance all the way through because I get so embarrassed about my solos.
Your solos are great.
Because the thing is, this happens every time I sing solo. I get so, like, nervous and I overthink it so much that I do it over and over and over, and I end up not happy with anything. And it's like, I probably deleted a better take at some point, but I was, like, not happy with it. And now I'm like, oh.
You know what, though? The fact that you have, like, the shy and, like, nervous character, I feel like you two can grow together, you know?
Yeah.
It's very on brand.
It is. I love that. Well, that's pretty much the end of the... Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the majority of the questions we got. I don't know if anybody watching live has any other ones, or if anybody else on the call right now has any other notes they would like to make about the song.
We did the thing.
We did. Yeah.
Good job, everyone.
Yes. Very good job.
Yeah, this is my first time, like, voicing in an idol project and instead of being the staff, and it's, like, a very different experience.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a good experience. Yeah.
This was my second time, like, technically voicing one, but honestly, the first one was kind of not a huge success, so this is kind of the first one that's really broken through, which is pretty exciting.
Congratulations!
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so Nautical Alliance is definitely a big step up for me and a big learning curve, and I'm glad I was able to do it successfully. It definitely means a lot.
You did great!
Alrighty. I'm trying to check our YouTube chat right now and see if there's any questions people have or anything. Any last thoughts about Nautical Alliance and the production? Anything about Nautiance? I don't know. Well, we did take up a pretty good chunk of time talking about this, and yeah. So, I guess. Oh, my cat just opened the door by himself. That was cool.
Baby.
Yeah, no big baby. Okay, so if that is the end of our notes on Nautical Alliance, the production, I do have another part to talk about, and just the project in general. So if I don't know if any of you guys on the call feel the need, if you want to stay, you can, but I don't know how much. You'll probably just be sitting here just because it's going to be me rambling about the project a little bit.
We're here to listen and give you moral support.
All right, sounds good to me. Nautical Alliance is just a really small part of the Gushiken project at the moment. Basically, it's counting how long Nautiance has been debuted, it's been about 2 years. But the concept has been around for a little longer than that. So, the Gushiken project and Nautiance are two kind of separate things. They're not the same unit, pretty much. What the entire project is a multi, how do I have it written down, a multi-unit virtual idol project. So there's a whole lot of characters aside from Nautiance is pretty much the basis. I think last time I counted there was maybe over there's over 50 characters in general, but not in just the idols. I think probably around 45 or something for all the units put together at the current moment, but I haven't counted. So the Gushiken Idol Project is set in a fancy little academy called, get this, the Gushiken Idol Academy. So, basically what that is it's a idol trainee school in Tokyo, and it has 3 different courses, which is the idol one, producer one, and then there's a newly implemented stage management that I'm kind of working on behind the scenes, but that means there's a ton of little teenagers in the project. So, to talk a little bit about the general characters that you're going to be meeting first, Nautiance is part of the first wave, is what I'm calling it, first debut wave, either one. And so, in the project, I think there's either 11 or 12 in the first debut wave, I believe. It's 12. Yeah, there are 12 units, Nautiance included. So, just to give a quick rundown, Nautiance is the one that just debuted, and then we have Chrysalis, who is a third-year duo in the Academy. They are kind of like the futuristic type mature unit. There is a guide on Instagram of like all the characters and stuff if anybody feels the need to follow along. I don't have stream graphics for these guys, so they just kind of have to take my word for it. So yeah, there's Chrysalis, which is a duo, and then you have Charlie Flynn, or CF, who is just a solo idol within the group. She is a transfer student from the United Kingdom, and her whole shtick is like a double personality type thing. If you find her graphic on Instagram, or I think she's on Twitter as well, it's kind of like a half angel, half demon type thing. And like her costume is split straight down the middle, and so that's just kind of her whole thing. I'll be interested to see who ends up voicing her. I'm really excited to have her voiced, actually. And then we have Tropical Vapor, who is actually also previously one of the Love Live editing groups that was from like 2017, 2018, I think. They're older than Nautiance, if anything. And so they are 6 members, and they're kind of like a city pop vaporwave-esque unit. So they've got a lot of neon lights and kind of retro style to them. And so that'll also carry on to their debut song as well. And then there's our beloved Psychic Phoenix, aka kind of the Mean Girls, one of the Mean Girl groups, pretty much. And they are like an alt idol band type thing. So they have instruments, and they kind of their mechanics are very similar to Pastel Palettes from Bandori. So they still what's the word I'm looking for? They still work as an idol group, but they also play, their instruments while they're going along there. So, and then we have City March, who is a unit full with 3 girls, and they're kind of like mismatched a little bit. Their whole thing is that they have different aesthetics that mix together and create kind of a full-looking unit. Is their whole thing. It's like balance, pretty much, because their unit leader is a perfectionist. So they just, they balance each other out, and they have this like really cool kind of aesthetic atmosphere to them, which is why they're named City March. It makes me think of like the city at nighttime. It's like all the pretty lights and all that stuff. That's they're pretty much their entire their shtick. And then we have Elle, who is another 9 member unit, and also a donated unit to the Gushiken Project. they were around at a similar time to Tropical Vapor, but they were owned by somebody else. And I was an editor for the group, and then they just kind of went away, for a few years, and then I ran back into the owner of them and was like, hey, how would you feel if I offered to take these girls in? And she was all over it. So Ella's officially a part of a project, and donated characters being brought back to life. And then we have a real mean girl unit. You thought Psychic Phoenix was mean? You're wrong. It was Addictum. Addictum is like this kind of royalty themed unit. They also have 6 members, and they're pretty much like the general antagonist is what it is. They're only to be famous and popular, and that's about it. So, I mean, that's their whole thing, pretty much. But yeah, nothing much to them other than that. And then our final female in the first wave actually is our Gyaro cat girl solo idol, Sora. Sora's just got this like bunch of color and cat accessories and stuff, and of course she has to be a 6-foot tall Gyaru because I said so. But yeah, so she's kind of there as like moral support. She's a very bubbly and happy girl who had issues with accepting her height as being a very tall girl. And so she became an idol basically just to kind of create a more normal stigma around it and find confidence in herself. And then there's more. Only 2 more, though. Oh, wait, no, I lied. There's another female group. This one is Hanafubuki. They are like an Oriental spring themed unit. Also, a donated unit. And so there's 4 of them. 2 of them are sisters in here, and these were all donated by... They weren't originally part of a group together, but they were donated by the same person, pretty much, and I just kind of took them and turned them into one unit. And to be honest, they're still kind of getting developed as far as story-wise, but currently their designs are finalized and stuff like that, and they will be part of the first debut wave. And then 2 more now. We have a couple boys who are also going to be debuting as part of the first wave project. Our first unit being Eclipse, who kind of counts as like 2 different units, but they will be debuting together. They're a unit of 4, and they're kind of like sky and space themed, pretty much. I don't have like a specific theme for them, but they are very kind of space-esque, and they have sunset details and stuff on them as well. So yeah, they're just kind of like your general successful and cool boy unit that you see just kind of sticking out in the academy, pretty much. They're general successful unit, pretty much. And they just debuted, was it this year? I think it was this year that I debuted them. But yeah, and then we have another solo idol in our final one in the in the first wave, who is also designed by the person who did sketches for Nautical Alliance's MV, Tamana Egi. He designed who we call Himi in the idol industry, and his real name is Hinata, and so he's kind of like a techno angel type character, and his story is that he was supposed to be a producer or stage manager. He wasn't really going to be an idol, but he found that he loved being on stage a lot more than being behind the scenes, and so he will also be included within the first wave. And so that is all 12 of the units that are going to be in the first debut. So, mind you, this is going to take a while, but basically what it's going to... we're pretty much going to do the same thing that we did for Nautiance. So every unit that I talked about here, they will get voice actors, they'll get an MV, they'll get original songs, they'll get their own art and stuff like that, and they'll officially be part of our virtual idol project family in the Gushiken Idol Project. And so I had a few questions asked about this. So if you were looking at any of the units and you were thinking, oh man, I want them to debut next, you can probably help them win, because the way that we're going to choose which character is going to debut next is we're going to be doing a public voting. So in about like a month or so, there will be a poll put out on Twitter, wherever you follow us at, and you can put in one vote for one unit that you would like to see debut next, and it'll probably be out for a few weeks or so. We're going to take some time to just, let everybody get to know the characters more and just figure out who you like the most, because I know a lot of people coming into the project are more aware of just Nautiance, and so we're just gonna do art and just do a few comics and stuff and help you get to know these characters a little bit more. And then probably mid-January would be my best guess. We're going to start doing voting for who will be getting the next debut. And you didn't hear this from me, but if you are in the Discord server, you may or may not get a extra vote for who you want to debut. So, if you want an extra vote for the next single voting, you can find our Discord server in our card. Just saying. So, after, I guess not really after, but like in the midst of these debut singles and working on all of that, I mentioned that Nautiance and their subunits were going to be doing some little covers and stuff to kind of fill some blank space that may or may not be there, depending. And so those will kind of be TV versions. They're not going to be super long, but there is going to be original art of the subunit outfits and stuff like that, and so we're going to start working on those, and of course those will be in between the margins of whoever gets the next single, who gets voiced next, and all that. So, yeah. There's still a lot of the units that need subunit designing and stuff like that, and so there may be a little bit of some community participation depending on where things go, because currently Nautiance is the only one with like fully complete subunits. Everyone else is kind of still in the works. But aside from covers, pretty much, we're doing a few other things, just, fun. Currently what we're working on actually is they're going to be like a little online magazine that people do, and Nautiance is going to be featured in that for December, so you can kind of, we answered in the little, the character's perspective, or I answered, so you can kind of see how they, in universe felt about the whole thing. And then fun thing, for those of you that are going to Holmat in December, I will be there on Friday, dressed as Nagisa, actually. I have her little outfit and stuff, her school uniform. And so, I'll be there pretty much all day on Friday, and what I'll have is some cute little flyers of talking about the Gushiken Project and stuff, and there'll be a print on the other side of Nautiance in their Christmas unit outfits from last year. So they're like cute teal and white and shimmery red and stuff like that. So if you catch me at Holmat, I will be handing those out for free. You can just come up to me and be like, hey, it's you. And I'll be like, yeah, and give you a flyer. So you get a free print if you find me. And then some more farther out in the future things that are a lot more, I guess, ambitious, that is still going to need a lot of planning. Basically, there is like a full storyline behind the project, and eventually, I'm not entirely sure when, because it's still got a lot of logistics to work out. I would eventually like to do a manga-style comic of the Gushiken project and the storyline, because that's fully fleshed out and stuff, and I would like to really start telling that story to people. Because we did start doing like the little visual novel stuff while we were still in the edit group, and just kind of stopped that just because it's still edits and stuff, and I'm kind of trying to move the project away from that just a little bit. So eventually, hopefully, there'll be a comic coming out. Probably not anytime soon, like not in like next year or anything like that. It's still gonna be a while, but that is something that we're planning on doing, as well as eventually I would like to do a full Academy song with everybody by the end of everybody debuting and stuff, and probably a little after, because there's more idol characters that are included in the Academy. But once again, a lot of these things that I'm thinking up are still in the logistics stage of figuring out, can we really do this? Because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of idols in the project, and that's a lot of work. So that's, just a few things that we're kind of working on. Okay. As far as going back to Nautical Alliance just a little bit, I haven't checked it recently, but whatever the view count is, last time when I checked it in the morning it was 800, and if you missed it on social media or anything like that, we did post that we're doing a little 1K milestone event. What that is kind of been hinted at just a little bit. So when we do hit 1,000 views on YouTube, I'm going to be kind of doing a little fun thing for the community. It is going to be community submission based. So not like me introducing another unit into the debut wave or anything. That's for sure set. But it is going to be community participation. And I think that's pretty much all I can say without completely giving away what it's going to be. It does have something to do with the male branch, though, the boys branch of Gushiken. And yeah, that's about all I can say. So if you haven't already, make sure you go watch the music video on YouTube, because we are very, very close to our milestone, and super excited. So, what next? I'm going down my little list here. Oh yeah, and speaking of the boys branch, there is also another kind of like far out in the future plan. Eventually, I would like to flesh out the boys branch a little bit, because if you didn't notice, there's a little less boy idols than females, and I am kind of there's, a lot of character writing and stuff going on in the background that's being worked out on, so we're fleshing out the student body a lot more with just, full range of diversity and stuff, and so, basically, I would like to have a separate storyline with, the boys branch of the, Idol Project. And so whether that's going to be, like, a similar full-on story to what we're going to do with, like, Nautiance protagonists and stuff like that, I'm not sure. It may just be some cute little short stories and stuff, or, a few different things are going through. But there are going to be more male and male-presenting idols within the Academy, eventually. But pretty much that's about all I have for just basic talking about the project a little bit. And I do have some questions to answer, just a few of them, and then we'll be heading off for the night. But to start with the first one that I received, it's talking about, will there be subunit, solo, shuffle unit songs? So, like I said before, there's going to be subunits. As far as solo songs go for characters that aren't solo idols, maybe. There's a lot of characters, and that'd be a whole lot of solo songs. But, if there's ever a time where we come to being able to do that, I would love to do that. It's just a lot of solo songs. And shuffle unit songs, I eventually would like to do some of those, whether it's original or covers, I don't really know for sure, but we did do one unit remix while the Gushiken project was still an editing project. And that shuffle unit was called Coral Reef, I believe. And so it's very similar to what Ensemble Stars has done in the past with, their shuffle units and stuff like that. So, that's a possibility for content. I would like to. Eventually, at some point, maybe it'll happen. And then, let's see. Yeah, what group will be needing voice actors next? That'll be decided by voting once again. So, yeah, I'll make sure it's very public when the poll does go live, and you can make your decision on who will be given a voice next. But it will only be characters within the first debut wave for now. This is a good one. What made you come up with Gushiken? So, like how Tropical Vapor and L and Hanafubuki are kind of revamped characters, pretty much a majority of the characters that you see in Gushiken are old characters of mine, or either like donated or, stuff like that. Some of them previously didn't have a purpose and were put into the project and created idol personas, or some of them were previously idol groups like Nautiance, who was originally supposed to be, a completely different concept, or Tropical Vapor, who was an old edited group of mine, stuff like that. Used to be idol OCs, kind of died out, were given a second chance to be idols, pretty much, and that's how the Gushiken Idol Project kind of started, to give these OCs that I had, attached myself so much to, and, put all of my blood, sweat, and tears into, and given them a second chance, because I really do love a lot of the characters that were created in the past, and I just felt so bad leaving them, on the back burner, pretty much, when, instead of just, making new characters and putting them all in, I figured, why not bring back the old ones? So, that's pretty much the whole purpose of Gushiken in general, and, of course, the whole Idol Academy concept and stuff like that was kind of inspired by other idol projects and franchises, stuff like that. But yeah. And then the other one, how do you get ideas for the units and characters of Gushiken? A few of the characters are not reused, of course, and so when I do kind of come up with new characters to implement, like Sora was a new one. Who else was a new one? A majority of Eclipse was new characters, just because I don't have a ton of old male characters, unfortunately. They weren't really my focus in middle school. So, kind of, they are all inspired by other characters and other designs I've seen, and I always have just all these ideas in my mind. I'm able to envision a lot of these characters and just see what I want them to look like. But the whole issue is I'm absolutely terrible at transferring those ideas onto paper. So what I usually do is I hop onto Picrew or something, the little kind of like dress up apps or whatever, where you just kind of input whatever hair and like eyes you want and stuff like that. And then I kind of start implementing off of that base and figuring stuff out. So pretty mundane character design process. And as far as units, I have a group of characters picked out for that already, and then I just kind of, whatever vibe they start to give off, like Addictum has a very specific, like, preppy kind of vibe they have. It's like, yeah, okay, you need to be like fancy Latin royalty people, It's kind of, and it's just a lot of Googling in different languages and figuring out, hey, what does this mean? And, what colors can I use that would symbolize what this means best and stuff like that. And it's just kind of a bunch of slapping stuff together and praying for the best, I don't have a specific process, really. It's just kind of hoping. And then our last little question we have on here, do you have a Gushiken favorite unit or character? Who is my favorite? I have no idea. They're all my children.